Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Doss here, and welcome to the second interview on the road to the anniversary. I hope you guys enjoy this interview. It had a lovely time sitting down with azhymovs and talking about some lore and his experience with Dead by Daylight and his time being a content creator. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this interview. Sit back, relax, and grab yourself some popcorn and enjoy the listen. All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. I am here with another guest on the channel, the one and only azhymovs. If you'd like to go ahead and give an introduction to yourself to the viewers here.
Hello, I am azhymovs, or Azzy, or whatever you want to call me. And I make largely sort of lore, history-based videos as well on my channel, covering DBD. And I try and make my stuff as interesting as possible.
Well, I definitely think you succeed. I think between you and, my opinion, Pixel Brush, I think you two are kind of like the leading creators for Dead by Daylight lore. So. But we'll go ahead and get this started. My first question for you would be, what drew you into the game? What led you to check out the, at the time, small game known as Dead by Daylight?
I think the first time, I'm honestly not entirely sure, but the first time I played it, I think was, I believe it was during a free weekend or something in 2019. So I joined a little bit later than some of the really like OG people. But I think it was just some friends told me about the game. I played a free weekend, and then I just liked it. I found it enjoyable, mainly for the gameplay, to be fair, at the time, because I've never really been that much of like a horror fan, but I just enjoyed the gameplay a lot, so that's sort of what drew me in.
Very interesting. So far, that seems to be a trend. I know Hens also wasn't a big horror person, and he actually started after you. So it is quite interesting just going through and like learning when everyone started. Like for me myself, I started back in the beta for Dead by Daylight. But like you've got like cornerstones of the community like yourself or Hens or even Otstarva like starting like a few years after the initial release. So I just find that so interesting. A follow-up to that question would be, what keeps you into Dead by Daylight? What keeps you playing, booting up the game, or making content on it?
I mean, honestly, like, it's kind of a simple answer. At it, like, a base level, I stick around because I just enjoy the game and I like it. I enjoy the gameplay, I enjoy the world and stuff like that. It's always fun when they release new stuff. In terms of like long-term interest, it probably is the lore, and also just sort of what I've built around the game as well. Obviously, kind of keeps me around. But I think it's mainly the gameplay. Was like the original thing, all of the different perks as well over time, sort of all the build possibilities and stuff like that, and then also just all the it's all the lore. It's like flavor text stuff, especially I think is what interests me the most. Is like reading through all that stuff, and they add loads of cosmetics like all the time, so there's always new stuff to read and sort of read into and make stupid theories about and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like that's kind of what Dead by Daylight wants. They want those aspects of the game to be what digs their claws into the normal player, and so I'm glad that it's seemingly succeeded on your end. They've kind of got you enraptured with their story building and like how characters interact with the world and the entity and stuff along those lines.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, from what I can see on YouTube, at least, you started posting content in around 2020, and you had said you had started basically in a free weekend a few years prior to posting. What initially led you to start posting content Dead by Daylight, since you had been playing for, I'd say, like what, a year and a half to 2 years prior?
Yeah, well, it was like a year before, and then like a year on. The first year I played it, I took up quite a lot of breaks from it. Like I actually missed out on the Stranger Things release, but then I came back again, and I kind of regret that looking back, and I'm like, oh, I missed out on such a good period. But I came back on, I think it was, who would it have been? I think like Deathslinger or someone. It was around it was like just before the 4th year anniversary, like Pyramid Head coming out.
Yeah, so yeah, it would have been Deathslinger.
Yeah, and it was like when it was like very early, sort of like COVID time. So I just had. Well, I was just at home and I didn't really have much to do. I was at university, but I was sort of just like getting through everything I needed to pretty quickly, so I had loads of spare time. And I had a few other things I was doing. I was fairly busy, but I wanted like something else to do. So I started making videos, which is something I've been doing for a while anyway. Like I used to make like Minecraft videos and stuff like that when I was younger. But I sort of got back into it with Dead by Daylight. So I kind of got back into the game and I thought, okay, this is something I can make videos on. I don't think they're going to be very successful because I was thinking to myself at the time, like, this is a 4-year-old game.
Yeah.
There's no way this is going to be successful. Like, there's no way I can make like a job out of this or something. Because, you know, the game's already 4 years old. Like, that's already pushing it, surely.
Yeah. And I mean, lo and behold, we're coming up on 10 now, and we've got all new creators sprouting up now. So I never say never, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it seems that was a good decision on your part to go through with it regardless.
100%.
Yeah, I mean, I'm seeing here, at least for the what's public, your oldest video is your top 10 best survivor perks, and that has 40,000 views. That's definitely nothing to sneeze at. I would say like that might not be your first ever video that you posted. You might have privated or unlisted some, but I mean, even like
my second, technically.
I mean, like even looking, like I was looking at it earlier this week, I see comments like fairly recently just commenting like, man, where it all started, where the GOAT began, stuff along those lines. It seems you've garnered yourself a very loyal and loving fan base and community with your content.
Yeah, I think so. I do like my community. I'd like to think it's because I'm fairly chilled. I tend to not make too much sort of angry content, so I'd like to think it draws sort of a similar group of, I don't know, similar mindset, I suppose.
I mean, that's definitely a great thing to have in any gaming community, just the kind of like level-headed content creators. So I can see why you kind of hit it off, and now this is your job.
Yeah. I'm grateful.
With your like content creation career and your career on Dead by Daylight, what would you say is like a highlight memory you've had with Dead by Daylight or something involving Dead by Daylight?
Well, you know what? It's fairly recent. It's when I got to like play the prototype of the Judgment. That was so cool.
So jealous. I really wanted to take part in that as well, but it seemed like it was a lot of fun.
It was so cool, and it was like, I don't know. Well, it was just sort of it's just a very like surreal moment, like actually getting invited by the devs, and then I was playing with people like Ots, who I've been watching myself since I was like 15, which is like bizarre. So it's just a very surreal experience. Yeah, I mean, but that was so cool.
I definitely can understand that. Like, I myself have had the privilege of being in contact with a few creators that I've enjoyed in the Dead by Daylight space for a few years. But I mean, for yourself, like testing out the Judgment, I feel like not only was it special because you got officially invited, but I mean, that is the chapter for the community building. It's going to be probably like one of the more interesting lore wise, I would say. Like, does the Grimoire chapter interest you in that way? Are you excited to get your teeth sinking into that, seeing how it plays out, and like what are the ramifications for having a biblical sense of a creature coming into the fog?
It's going to be very interesting, I think. Yeah, especially because, well, like the entity's kind of like the god of the realm. So then you have this other like kind of. Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming this angel isn't going to be loyal to the entity. It's surely going to be loyal to some other like force or something. So that could be interesting, seeing how. I don't know if there's sort of a clash there, because we have like Plague, who's very devoted to the entity and like prays to it and stuff. But then what if we have this other killer who's loyal to some other like higher being? I think that could be quite cool. See what happens there.
If it's like masters another eldritch horror that's like a competitor to the entity, something like that. Something maybe tucked in another dimension.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Obviously, you had in the beginning you had said your content primarily focuses on lore deep dives. You've done quite a few tier lists, and you do your facts videos as well. With all the content you've made and all the digging deep and these blurbs and stuff along those lines, is there a specific lore tidbit or fact that you like the most in Dead by Daylight?
Oh, that's tricky. One of my favorite ones that I always go back to is the. Uh, I've said this like so many times on my videos, but it's like the Doctor submarine one, where he like asked the entity to have 100 survivors trapped alone with him on a submarine, and he was like granted that wish. And I just think that's so sort of like creepy in itself, but it also just opens up all the possibilities. Like, okay, so the killers are able to actually like request sort of like gifts almost from the entity, and it can grant them them. So it's like, I just think it opens up so much. It's like, what would all the killers wish for? You know, if they had any, they could wish for anything.
Yeah, it is really interesting. And I mean, we have seen in the past that the entity does have favorites, so to speak. It favors certain killers more than others, and will grant ones more things, like you said with Doctor getting a full testing like tube basically of survivors. Really interesting. That's a great answer. So with obviously the 10 years now of Dead by Daylight, has there been a favorite year for you of Dead by Daylight lore wise for release? Something like which year released the most interesting or engaging lore for you personally?
Lore wise, let me just think. I mean, my favorite lore is unknown, but I feel like that year probably wasn't the best year because.
Well, we're not considering like gameplay. We're not considering bugs or anything. Just simply on a lore aspect.
Yeah, but then what? Who else was in that year? What year was unknown? I think he was. It was in I think it was the same year as like Skull Merchant.
It was 2024.
2024. Yeah, it's like the only other original killer would be Houndmaster. So I don't.
Yeah.
I do like Houndmaster's lore though. Maybe it would be that year then. Maybe it would be that. Obviously, then you'd have like Vecna and Dracula as well, which are kind of. I mean, it's like. Actually, you know what? Actually, like Vecna's lore's cool. Never mind.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he himself willingly went into the realm and even has a mark of negation on him. So I feel like he's the most interesting license.
He cracks the entity's language as well.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe be that one then. I'd maybe go with that.
Yeah, I mean, I would have to agree with you. I think Unknown's lore is just probably like one of the best like chapter lores in general. It's so fascinating, and even now with the most recent release now of Jason, we've got a little bit more of Unknown being put into the fray. Yeah. With that as well, I think that's a great segue into my question for you of with us obviously having this 10-year, have you been a fan of Dead by Daylight's kind of like drip teasing and marketing with the anniversary teases? Has it been exciting for you?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's been awesome. Like the whole like cabin thing where they revealed Jason. I don't know why people are so mad about that. I thought that was really fun.
Yeah.
Like, when we don't get any marketing, everyone gets like upset, and then we finally get some, and everyone's upset still. It's like, what?
Yeah,
cool.
That was actually my follow-up question. I think the main reason for that was simply that it was 13 hours, and it was a terrible time point for all of you guys in the EU. Like for NA, it wasn't terrible for starting time, but it went from 6 p.m. to 7 a.m. here in the West.
Yeah, when they announced that and they said it's gonna be 2 a.m., I was thinking like, well, I'm not staying up for that. I'll see it in the morning, I guess.
And you made the right choice, it seemed. When that live stream happened, what were your thoughts for all these special events that were going on with like the random bicyclists, the unknown popping up, the like fog coming in? What were your like initial thoughts seeing all those events happening on your feed, on your timeline, or on the stream itself?
I mean, it was very cool. I didn't know who it was already by then because I already I got told because I'm in the.
Yeah,
I get like Oh, you did too. Okay.
I knew for a very long time.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
I think it was still cool.
Oh
I
yeah.
was one thing I was thinking like, how is this stuff connected? Because I also hadn't seen Friday the 13th. Then I watched the first two films like a couple days ago.
Well, you're beating
Um,
hens, so good for you.
okay, like stuff like the bike. I'm assuming now is probably related to that like crazy guy who goes around on his
Yep.
bike.
I was thinking
Probably.
that too.
But then as when I saw that, I was like, that's weird. I guess they just put a bike in as like, every couple hours, everyone's gonna be like, oh my god, a bike. What does that mean? And it just means nothing or something. But I guess it does mean something, which is nice.
I mean, yeah, they're one of their recent tweets is saying that the bicyclist is still missing. So
And then they had unknown in there as well, which
Mhm.
really confused me. I was thinking like, okay, maybe that's just another fun Easter egg. But then in the lore, it turns out he's actually fighting unknown, so it kind of works again.
Yeah, that was a big shock to me when I read the lore on the PTB. I was not expecting the unknown and Jason to be throwing hands. I would not have expected that at all. He put up a good
Also,
fight.
he did, yeah. Also, there's a cool tie-in as well to Unknown's lore because there's like a section of Unknown's lore where it's often there's like a serial killer loose in Greenville, and it's often and people sort of attribute that to Unknown, thinking that's Unknown, and that's like a common thing in Unknown's lore, is like other killers being attributed to him or to it even. Like the entity taking people in the Greenville Theater is assumed to be Unknown, which probably means that the serial killer in Greenville that was referenced like ages ago back in Unknown's lore was probably Jason.
Yeah. My question is, was it Jason to start with, or did they retroactively do it? Because
Almost definitely retroactively, but I still think it's cool.
well, the thing is with the Unknown's release, that was around the time that Jason Universe had become a thing. Jason Universe was started in 2024, so there is a slight chance, but I guess we'll never know.
There is an Unknown add-on though, where it shows the mask of the serial killer it's referring to, and it doesn't look like Jason's. But it could be multiple serial killers still. So
true. I mean, that would be terrifying. Just more stuff for Greenville to have to deal with.
Oh, also, there's another connection. Sorry, like yapping loads, but
oh no, that's what this is for.
There's, do you remember the Unknown teaser from ages ago where he's like, it like crawls into like
the tent.
The tent, yeah. I was thinking maybe after it attacks that person inside and like takes their skin or whatever, that like Jason's lore happens just after that because Jason finds it in a tent.
Yeah, I was thinking the same exact thing.
Connection.
Like,
oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, I think like it makes pretty good sense because the teasers that they're releasing on Twitter with the actual stream were also very reminiscent of the Unknown teasers. It was this found footage type of content in the woods, and we've never had anything like that besides the Unknown. So I fully believe that is the series of events that happened.
Oh, that's so cool.
But with you mentioning Friday the 13th and everything, with the amount of IPs and collaborations Dead by Daylight has brought into the fog, has there been any you were unfamiliar with that piqued your interest outside of Dead by Daylight, prompting you to consume the source material?
Honestly, like pretty much all of them. The one like I hadn't really played or seen anything that was in DBD. Like even really classic stuff like Halloween. I hadn't seen Halloween before DBD. Or like Nightmare on Elm Street, stuff like that.
It is shocking.
I know why I'm just really was not a horror person. It just didn't interest me before. I quite like it now. The ones I really like, I think that I found from DBD were like Resident Evil. That's like my favorite game series now. So that's like awesome. And then film-wise, it's probably like Saw. I really love the Saw series.
Interesting. Okay. Where did any of the anime collaborations pique your interest? Attack on Titan or Tokyo Ghoul or stuff along those lines?
I do want to watch Attack on Titan because I've heard that's very good. I watched Tokyo Ghoul, the first season of it. I know it's based on like the manga, but I watched the first season of the show and I thought that was pretty good. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, the next season's not great.
Oh, okay.
I think watching the first season only is fine. Attack on Titan, I definitely do recommend. It is a fun thing, and I think like world building wise, I think you would enjoy it.
Okay, nice.
And I mean, a follow up to this, I mean, it might be a pretty simple answer, but which of these collab IPs has the most intriguing lore for you personally?
Damn. Well, maybe recency bias, but it's like Jason's lore was so well done. Do you mean in terms of like as in like the lore from their movies or whatever, or
Yeah,
just
from their
the
respective
lore in DVD?
IPs.
Ah, okay. Damn. Definitely not FNAF.
How dare you? I am an avid FNAF fan. I cried on his release.
I'm sorry. I just
It's
find it so
okay.
confusing.
It is very confusing. I am somebody who has consumed the lore since it's the start. I have the books. I've watched the movies. I've played every game. So I feel it. I understand.
Nice. I
There's a lot
respect
to go
that.
into.
It's just like it's so intimidating. I think going into it with this, like I had like literally no knowledge of FNAF going into it. And I was just like, oh god.
Well, there's a very nice short 9-hour video that you can watch detailing
Well,
the lore.
exactly. Like I was asking people, like, can you help me out with this? Can you give me something to watch so I can try and like understand it? And I was getting sent these like 24-hour-long videos. I was like, what? Huh? There's got to be something slightly more succinct, surely. So it's not so much like I dislike FNAF. It's more just like the lore. I'm just like, nah,
There's so
that's
much,
too much.
yeah.
It's way too like complicated, clearly, and
I completely understand.
Maybe just Resident Evil. I do like Resident Evil lore quite a bit.
I do think Resident Evil does have a great like world in general. I mean, they've had some missteps with stuff. And have you played Resident Evil 9 yourself?
I thought it was okay, to be honest.
Interesting. You seem to be in the minority.
It's my least favorite modern Resident Evil. Like 7, 8, 9. I think 9 was the weakest one by quite a bit.
Really? Wow, that's interesting. You were definitely in the minority of the people I've talked to regarding that.
I don't really know why it's so liked, to be honest. I think like the entire middle section of the game I thought was really boring.
I mean, to each their own. That is the beauty of video games, you know?
Yeah, true.
So it seems like the relationship between developers and creators like yourself has improved exponentially over the last couple of years. Obviously, you had stated earlier that you were invited to showcase the Judgment and stuff along those lines. Do you think these relationships will continue that way, if they'll improve and get even better?
I mean, it's improved a lot already over just the last year, I think. We got to show off the Jason gameplay earlier as well, which was cool.
I was jealous about that. Gold did not get that.
Oh damn. Hopefully in the future we'll get to like play test it ourselves instead of like just being given gameplay, but I mean that was still very nice. But yeah, no, I think it's been good. I'm happy with the program so far. I do want to create a code. That's like the one thing I kind of want still, but yeah. Aside that, I'm pretty happy. I get to type to the devs. They give me cells and stuff and give me opportunities to promote their stuff as well. So I'm content with it. I'm happy.
Oh, isn't that nice? I'm just kidding. I'm content with gold. It's fine. So with you having been making content for 6 years now and playing the game for a little bit longer, how do you personally deal with gaming content creation fatigue and burnout?
I mean, again, it kind of helps that I just like the game, I think. But I tend to only really play it on stream, so I'm kind of like, I don't really play it much just in my own time. I do sometimes still, but I think when I'm playing it, I usually have like a goal in mind or something, so I tend to not really get too burnt out. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I kind of enjoy it. I've always played it very casually, so I think I tend to not really get burnt out. Sometimes I do take fairly long breaks from actually playing the game, so I'll take like a month break or something, which even the devs themselves have said to do, and I think it's a very healthy thing to do as well. To take breaks from games every now and then.
Absolutely. That's something I've advocated for years for really any game. Like, if you're playing the same thing every day, you're gonna get tired of it. You're gonna need something else in your life. break or just other things to
Yeah.
do is always important.
For sure.
So this will be the second to last question here, but what's something
Okay.
that you would change for how DVD presents its lore? Would you want to redo how they do the tomes or a completely new system? I know recently they've kind of gone away with the blurbs on perks, sadly. What would you specifically change how they present their lore moving forward?
Um, like everything, honestly. I think like it's kind of a mess. I think they need to do a little bit of a reset and kind of start over. Um, keep the stuff they've already done in the archives. That's fine, but they need to kind of like. I think the main issue is with the DBD lore is it's so disconnected from the gameplay, which is sort of the same problem that like casting of Frank Stone had as well, where everyone playing the game was kind of confused. And even though it represents DBD lore quite well, it doesn't really represent DBD very well because it has almost nothing to do with the gameplay, and it doesn't feature any of like the DBD characters, which is kind of like DBD lore as well. The deeper lore doesn't really feature any of the characters actually in game, so it's kind of confusing. So that'd be a start, is focus on the characters in game, form stories with them, form stories like happening within the realm, and focus on like character interactions and stuff like that. Build towards some kind of larger narrative so that people have something to actually look forward to. Kind of like with the Observer, it kind of seemed like they were going somewhere with, like, they're going to go somewhere with that, and he was going to like do something.
He's disappeared
he kind of
for years.
but then he's just gone off to the void. He's not really doing anything. So yeah, and that was a cool moment when that happened as well. Like, oh, the Observers disappeared from the tower. Oh my god! And then that was it. Nothing else. So some kind of like big lore event. And I also think they need to tie it into gameplay somehow. A bit like Fortnite does,
Fortnite.
which I know is.
Hey, Fortnite's
of,
great with their world building. Yeah, like you can't deny them that.
And they've kind of done stuff like this. Like they had that growth on Macmillan, on the Macmillan water tower.
Yep, I was just about to ask you like your thoughts on that. Like it's been there for years. It like had a stage of like growth on it, and then it just has been what it is for 2-3 years.
Yeah, well, it's because it completed its thing. They did the story, but they hid it in the tome, so no one knew what happened.
Yeah.
But yeah, they should do something like that, but then like actually have some kind of like tangible event on gameplay or in game, or like tie in the overarching story with some kind of like in-game visual that players can actually see and speculate on and that kind of thing. I think that's so key. And then in terms of more like of an accessibility way, just put all the lore in one place. If you're on a characters tab, you should be able to read their base lore, their tome lore. It should all be there, so you don't have to go find it in tome 16 chapter 3 or whatever.
That's a great idea. I would love that.
And then they should also have some kind of like short video for each killer that people can watch. Just some kind of like quick breakdown of the lore if people just don't like reading, because lots of people don't like reading. So just give them some kind of visual. It doesn't have to be like some fancy animation or whatever, but just something that recounts the story in some way and gives people sort of a quick insight into what the character's about, even if it's like really basic. It's like 30 seconds or whatever. It just gets people interested, and then they go, oh, I might read it now. I might try and read more about them.
Yeah.
So they're like my big things, I'd say.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely think a game's biggest strong point is its lore. If you realistically, if you don't have something else to hook the player, it's gonna struggle. And I do think that has been an issue with Dead by Daylight personally. Like there hasn't been really succinct ways to digest the lore easily, like you had said. Like I don't even know how many people are checking out the new tomes. Like how many people are aware that Julian is a thing and is currently in the current tome.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not even reading the tomes at the moment.
Yeah, it's
to be honest, I just feel so checked out with it. They've hid the lore away into a tiny corner, into the tiniest tab ever, and it releases one story across like was it
Like
like a month and a half, two and a
yeah,
half months,
like
something
2 to 3
crazy like
months
that.
depending.
Yeah, it's like I don't know. It kind of just feels like why should I care at this point? So it just feels like there's you know, I don't know. It feels so neglected, basically.
We need a dedicated lore master for Dead by Daylight. Somebody that is completely in charge of it and has
Hmm.
a complete like plan of what they want to do.
We need to get lore consultants.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, why not? You know, we have game consultants. Why not lore consultants?
I'd be down.
Yeah, I feel like you, Pixel Brush, a couple other people would be really like good at that, like giving your 2 cents and like how things can be implemented. I think that'd be great. I mean, all the things you said right now, I would love. I'd love some live events.
Hmm.
I'd love just a easy way to read up on everything that's happened to a specific character. Like there's that
Yeah.
like I'm not as big of a lore buff as you, but I am
Mhm.
somebody who has digested the lore and isn't very interested in it. And there's a lot of stuff that I'm just like, I have no idea. Like I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But my final question for you.
Mhm.
What are your hopes and dreams for Dead by Daylight and yourself for the future? For maybe the next 5 years, next 10 years, who knows?
Ooh, my hopes for Dead by Daylight. Well, fix the law. That'd be nice.
Yes.
Um, I mean, gameplay wise, I want to see. I don't know. I want the game to be like interesting. I like perk variety. I want to see like the killer meta actually shaken up. I want to see Nurse get dethroned finally after like 9 years.
Yep.
I want them to fix all the bugs. That'd be nice. Give attention to lots of killers that don't get it. It feels. I mean, I suppose my requests are kind of unreasonable. It's probably too much work, I suppose. But
I mean, you never know.
like one of the biggest issues I think at the moment is just the bloat of the game. There's too much in it for the devs to sort of feasibly give attention to everything. So I guess just giving attention to everything would be amazing. Everything getting tweaks, every sort of patch, you know, just having a few killer tweaks, adjusting things, just like sort of seeing what happens, and yeah, buff and perks. I don't know. And then there's a few licenses I really want. Like I'm someone who really wants Vader in the game. I know that's like kind of controversial.
I mean, me personally, I've always been of the thought that Vader himself fits. I just don't think the general Star Wars IP fits.
Okay, that's fair.
So I'd be fine if it was like, I know a lot of people are already hating it, but if it was just a solo killer, like no like survivor, maybe a map, but I think Vader fits because he is terrifying. Like let's be real. Vader is one of the most scariest beings in that universe. I think he fits. I just don't think the general Star Wars IP fits.
I'd be fine with just the Vader chapter. And then I'd like to see the boys as well. And then
Yes.
I think my number one at the moment is Dexter as well. I really want to see Dexter.
Ooh. Yes. I think that would be nice. Would you want for a Dexter chapter? Would you want it to just be Dexter? Would you want a survivor to join him? A map?
I think it'd be cooler, honestly, if he was a solo survivor and he had sort of like anti-killer perks. I think that'd be pretty cool. Like he was very sort of anti-killer, fighting back kind of. That could be a cool sort of role for him. But he could be a killer as well. I just don't really know what his power would be, because he's kind of just like a guy.
True.
He'd be a good like Ghostface skin, I think. You know, like stalking and collecting evidence and that kind of thing. But yeah, I don't know. I think a survivor would work well for him. Who fights back.
Be cool. Like we've had some perks like that where it kind of like calls on the entity for the survivors, but they kind of like haven't really done much with that. I would like to see a bit more like agency.
Yeah, that'd be cool, I think.
And what about yourself? Like, what are your hopes and dreams for yourself?
I know. I'm pretty content in my life. I'm pretty happy.
There's nothing wrong with that.
I'm pretty happy just the way I am. I want to just, you know, keep making fun videos, hopefully making things people are interested in. I don't know. I'm pretty happy with DBD. Like I probably will try and expand out more and try and cover some other games and maybe upload more on my other channels as well. But
Ah,
I
yes,
don't know. I'm just
your
kind of
channel where you
content.
have your hour-long videos to sleep to.
Yeah, like stuff like that. I feel bad about that all the time because I always like the last upload I did. It was like a 7-month gap. I feel so bad about that, but it's just like finding the time to do it because I'm always so busy trying to keep up a schedule on the main channel and yeah, always coming up with ideas and stuff. So yeah.
Well, that is going to be then is this whole interview. Thank you so much for joining me. It was a pleasure to speak to you and ask these questions and get to know a bit more about you. I'm hoping that everyone enjoyed getting to know you a little bit more. But that's going to be it for this video. If you want to go ahead and plug your socials, your channel, and anything else you have going on or any plans you have, go ahead and feel free to do so right now.
Well, my socials are just I think just azhymovs and everything. Mainly on YouTube. So yeah, that's it. I think.
Yeah, well, that's going to be it for us today. Thank you guys so much for watching. And thank you, Azimus, for joining us. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
And there we have it. That was my interview with Azimovs. Again, thank you so much to Azimovs for spending the time with me to do this interview. I really, really appreciate it. Honestly, I would love to be able to talk to him more, just talk about lore and possibilities and stuff like that in the future. I had just a lot of fun talking about that type of stuff with him. But that's going to be it for this. Tune in for the next one. The next one's going to be a really good one with one of my good friends. I really appreciate it that he took the time to do the interview with me. Again, really, really appreciate it. But those of you who are new around here, might be azhymovs viewers, stuff like that. I make double daylight content really regularly. I tend to post news updates, talk about stuff coming out. We make some speculation videos every now and again. So if you're new, I highly recommend hitting that subscribe button. I'd love to have you around here. Hit that like button if you liked the video. And as always, hope you all have a good morning, afternoon, and evening. Goodbye, everyone.